G'day everyone and welcome. We are going to go on with the next prompt from our Defameramba, which is vintage meets modern. Now, I've got a fairly good idea what I'm going to do with this one, so we're going to get straight into it and hope for the best. Now, as is always the way, I come up with more scraps. It was in the Facebook group, someone posted the other day, is anyone finding that their scrap basket is getting bigger rather than smaller over this? And I'll just give you a quick indication of what my scrap basket is looking like. It's bulging and there's bits out everywhere now, because I go, oh, I might add that, or oh, I might add this, and it's increasing at about the same size as my waist is over Christmas, is what's happening there. So I've got an idea. I went the other day and bought myself a new phone case, and when I was like, oh, yep, okay, box, window, awesome. Then this come out, and I went, yeah, that's what we're doing. So that was my inspiration for what we're going to do for Vintage Meets Modern. And we're going to do it on Tattered Rose page because, his looks quite vintage there. And we're going to work with him and I'll come up with an idea. So I'm going to put him to the side for now. And I'm going to discuss my idea. So I make mini albums as well as journals, if you weren't aware, on my channel. And as well as colouring in. I just like to do it all. I like to have a lot of different hobbies. My ADHD kind of, undiagnosed ADHD kind of appreciates that kind of thing. I flip from one thing to another. And so I'm going to make a cascading waterfall, pull down waterfall. So it's going to be a slideshow. So our Tattered Rose is going to be watching a slideshow of, all of the people that he knew back in the day. But instead of a slideshow on our phone, I'm going to have a old-fashioned slideshow. And this is what I've come up with to do our old-fashioned slideshow, is vintage cabinet cards. This is going to be the old day selfie, the vintage selfie. Now, there are lots of ways you could do that. I've got these from the Digital Collage Club because I have a subscription with them. But I've also gone through and I picked up at some point like a family tree set of magazines and stuff, Family Tree Connections or whatever it's called. And I went through and harvested all of the cool looking old vintage photos and so forth. So you'll find them everywhere. It's just that these ended up being the perfect size and I already had them printed. And I'm like, great. So we're going to use them. So what we're after are the ones that look like selfies. So this chick here, selfie. Okay, so we're going to cut her out straight away. So I'm looking for the ones that kind of look like, that they've sat there on Snapchat and done a selfie filter. That's the whole idea. On that, did you know that selfie is an Aussie invented word? Which is, of course, sounds like something that Australians would come up with. Instead of a self-portrait, we'd just shorten it to a selfie. All right, so we got that one. What other kind of ones might be a selfie? Let's see if there's old dudes here. That could be a selfie Snapchat filter. Okay. Maybe they had it right with these cabinet cards in the day, probably because the focus of the cameras weren't that good, but that soft focus filter made everyone look much better. I like the soft focus filter of the modern day ones too. All right. Oh, hello. There we go. There's some funny Snapchat filter selfie. All right, so you get the idea. I'm going to go cut a few more out because I don't think you want to see me cutting out all of these, what's it called? Photos. That's the word. And then I'm going to come back and we will work with making our slideshow. Okay, so I'm back and I've got the one sorted. Now, this is what our tattered rose dude looks like. So I sat there and went, well, let's pick some ones that could be him at various stages in his life. Like, look at this one. Like, he's like, whoa, and then we got this one, and then this one. And I was like, well, that could be him at different stages of him in his youth. And then this could be his lady. So they're all fairly similar. And I went, well, they could all just be like some selfie shots of the love of his life, maybe, or the one that got away, whatever way you want to call it. So I've got a bunch of them, and I figured let's get in and work on this. So I've got this guy here, and this works out to be 7 centimeters or about 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so what I've gone and done is I have cut a piece of the vanilla folder that I've been, using as background as we've been going through this. And I'm like, well, that's going to be my little background piece. And I have already used the actual hinge that is in the whatchamacallit, in the vanilla, oh, you know what I'm talking about. And then I've added some more. So there was 2 there that were 1/2 inch, but I've made them 1/4 inch, and I've gone through, and I'll show you what I've got. I'll give you measurements. I don't think it really matters. This isn't a mini album tutorial. This is the weird, wacky idea that I've come up with. So it ends up being 8, and that'll get cut, so it doesn't really matter. 2 3/4 across, and I've gone 1/2, and then I've gone 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, and I stopped at 2. So at 2, I did the last one, and there we go. Okay, so that's what we're going to work with, and hope that I can remember how to do this. So we're going to fold and burnish all of these little hinges. Okay, so they've all been folded and done. I think I missed one. There we go. All right, so they're all done like that. And then I'm going to back these guys onto some of the manila folder that is cut to 2 3/4 as well. So I'm going to back it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to edge it, or put some ink around the edge using some of the colours that I haven't used a lot of in this album so far, and just ones that are nice and bright. So I'm going to give like a vignette of these different colours, just to bring in or tie in more opportunity to tie in the distress colours as we go. And it's also I'm doing the classic Snapchat filter vignette, so I'm like, why not take advantage of that and do that. So that's kind of what we're doing, and I'm going to do it with a whole bunch of different colours. Then I'm going to glue it down onto these manila folder backings, and then I will come back. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. Well, for you a second, for me probably about another 5 hours. Okay, bye. Okay, so I'm back. I have inked all around them, and now we're going to add them to our thing. Now this is going to be our last one because it's a bit raunchy. So, this is the one that he's got at the back of the slideshow that, hopefully no one actually sees, but that's the one he's really heading towards. So we're going to do this, and all we're going to do is I'm going to glue this one on the 1/2 inch one. I needed a bit more for this one. I just wanted to make sure it was well secured. That was the main reason. So that one, and then we're just going to layer them up. So just on that is, and just putting it just below where the core line is. Okay, so you're going this way. I'll lift this one with cut straight. Okay. I have rounded all the bottoms as well, just to keep in style with the iPhone, this thing here with the rounded corners. Okay. I feel like I should be doing a mini album tutorial for this rather than a junk journal, but you know, it's a bit of fun. Bit of fun. Put this fella next. Alright, and then this one here. This one, Deskeys. Okay, so we got that. I'm just going to just snip off those things that are sticking out. And then this one has got rounded corners. Now I've left this one longer deliberately because I want it to cover all of the others so that, you know, you're not really aware that there's a slideshow going on. And I'll explain that in a moment. Okay, all right. All right. Let's put this one on here. Let's see if I can actually remember what I'm doing. I do these regularly, but every time I've got a question, am I actually doing this right? Okay, all right. So I got that one on there. And now the idea, if this one's held down, we pull on this, and then this one will be there. All right. Okay. So we've got a slideshow. All right, what I need to do here is put a hinge on this, however, because I want to add it to the page. So I'm just going to cut this off at there. I could score it, but you know, fold this in half-ish. Run that down on here, and that will give me something to attach it to the page with in a moment. So we got this. All right. Okay. So now comes what we need to do. All right. We need to go to this bottom one here, and we're going to take a piece of card that's, you know, an inch or so wide, and we're going to add this to the bottom of here. Okay. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Then we need to wrap it around with a little bit of gap. Don't make it too tight, so always kind of like splay it out just a little bit. And then that should move through that okay. And we've got all this journaling spot in underneath. So nice hidden journaling spots to write your stories about what was going on with each of these interesting character pictures. It was like, what were you up to? What was she up to? What were you both up to? Okay. So we've got that. Now I'm going to come along and I'm just going to mark where the end of this is. Alright, I'm going to round the corners again. I'm just going to pull this out. Okay, now I need to have a pull tab so that I know to pull down on this one, and I'll show you what I'm going to do for that in a second. But first off, we need to attach this, only this bit, onto here. No, don't slip, don't slip. No. Alright. Okay, then I've got this little piece of, actually, I think straight will give me a little bit more maneuverability. That's the word. A bit more true substance. Just a little piece, obviously. And I'm going to glue it down here. Okay, so this is going to act as like a little stopper, as well as telling me I need to pull. And I'll show you in a second what I'm going to make sure that's down. All right, and then if we pull, it will open up. Okay, and then we can slide that back in underneath. And then I'm going to put one of the flowers from the one I did, Nature's Treasures. So we're going to add that in here. And it's got that tattered rose colour, so it works out really good. I'm going to put that in there. So that's there, that's my home button. My gosh, I honestly love where you can let your thoughts go with these prompts. They're a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got that. Let's bring back our book, our journal. Okay, there's my little tattered rose dude. Going to add this here as a flip. Okay. We can always come and decorate this later. I'm just going to glue it down for now. Might run a bit of lace along here actually. Something. Oh, I got the perfect lace at the op shop the other day. That was a tattered rose in colour. Ah. Is it? It's not quite wide enough. Okay, maybe not. I'll come up with something. I'm sure I've got 5 million laces that I could be using. Here we go. Let's go for this one. And how much do I need? There, looks good. Let's okay. a little touch just to hide it up a little bit. Not really, but you know, something. So we've got that. Okay, back to here, and we've got our little selfie display. So he can sit there and he can look back and he can go, oh, back in my day, hello, I remember you. And there she is. Okay, let's put a stamp on here. Let's find my stamps. Let's go for memories. Memories. Stamp block. And into stamp it on up. Now, do I want to put it up here? Or actually, let's put it over here and tie it in. I need something hard. Let's use that book plate. Let's use this side of it. Alright, let's go. Memories. There we go. Alright, that then ties in with that. We've got our little there. Let's do a little bit of no, I think I'm going to leave it like that. Actually, I'm going to leave it quite simple this page. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. That's my little one for vintage meets modern, and it's our modern selfie of vintage photos. Oh, come on, Tammy. All right, boom. And there we go. What do you reckon? Do you like it? Sorry, I'm going to just play with that now. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. As always, remember, be kind, be strong, be a warrior. And I'll see you later. Bye.